Welcome back, everyone, to Seahawk Central News, your source for the latest in local news and entertainment. I'm Trevor.
And I'm Anna Phillips. Want to get involved? Check out tealtv.org to keep up with us throughout the school year. Don't forget, Seahawk Central News airs Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m.
This week, we'll take a look at some of the campus renovations as well as an overview of the Republican and Democratic national conventions.
Not only that, but we will catch up with the latest movie reviews with Chris Vickery.
Stay tuned because Seahawk Central News starts right now. Former Los Angeles Laker Earvin Magic Johnson will speak at Trask Coliseum on Thursday, October 11, 2012, as part of Diversity Week on campus. The visit is attributed to Wilma Daniels, the founder and CEO of Daniels Development and a member of the University of North Carolina Board of Trustees. Daniel intends that her gift to the school will in turn help fund an initial year of programming for Wilma Daniels' distinguished lecture promoting diversity and tolerance. During a news conference to announce the event, Daniels expressed that UNCW has excellent initiatives related to cultural variance and believes this lecture will strengthen such views. Johnson's message will center on overcoming challenges, building a successful life, and achieving personal goals. UNCW is also working with local schools and youth groups to bring in several hundred middle school students to hear Johnson's speech. While the event is free, space is limited, so be sure to get your tickets come September 24th at the UNCW Athletics ticket office located in Trask Coliseum.
Bozeman Gallery hosts a new exhibit this week, Engulfed. Designed by UNCW students Ashley Reber and Christiana Rovick, the jellyfish display will be up until September 13th. It is free of charge and open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
UNCW Film Studies alumni have sparked a campaign to raise money for The Red Cape, a film that draws attention to Wilmington community's forced removal of a Republican government and black business owners. Logan Spaller has more.
I am here with Corey Lee, the costume designer of the film The Red Cape, which is about the race riots which took place in the 1800s. Now, this film started production in 2007 and is still in progress, and they need funds up to $30,000 in order to finish the film. Now, Corey, what is this film about?
It's about the race riot that occurred back in 1898. It's starting with the events that led up to it, and really just a recreation of that time period seen through the eyes of a young boy.
What made you guys want to start doing this film? It's a very specific topic on a topic in Wilmington.
It's a really unspoken part of history that it's actually pretty unbelievable that it's not in history books. It's the only known coup d'etat in American history, which is the only known time where the government was actually overthrown and held for a period of time. And it's not really spoken about, and this would be the first time that it's actually been captured on film.
Can you tell us how the UNCW campus and community can come and help contribute for the funds for this film?
Well, UNCW's already been really helpful. Like I said, it was mostly UNCW students that were involved with the project to begin with. And really it's learn more, which is what our message is, just to go and find out more about our local history. And if you can, give what you can, just because it's a good message and it's a good thing to support.
All right, thank you. Until next time, I'm Logan Spaller reporting for Seahawk Central News, TLTV.
The Cameron School of Business at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington has been named the top low-debt school for students who have borrowed money. Recently featured by the U.S. News World and Report, 10 MBAs that lead to student debt states that UNC Wilmington averages a debt of $8,000 as compared to $47,743, the average reported in a U.S. News survey.
Well, Seahawks, it's time to take extra pride in your future alma mater. For the 4th consecutive year, UNCW is included in the 2013 edition of the Fisk Guide to Colleges and is also featured in the Princeton Review's Best in the Southeast section for the 9th consecutive year. This Guide to College is a subjective guide into the best and most interesting colleges and universities in the U.S., Canada, and Great Britain. The book features over 300 schools and is updated and expanded every year to provide college-bound students and their parents practical information. Chancellor Gary Miller was honored by the news, stating that this recognition is a testament to extraordinary quality of our faculty and staff who are committed to the journey of learning, the power of ideas, and to our special place as North Carolina's coastal university.
This week, I had the chance to sit down with Albert Eby of the Cape Fear Public Transportation Authority to talk about Wilmington's WAVE transit bus program. Let's see what he has to say about the WAVE.
So the latest issue that we've heard of is the price increase, the possibility of ending Sunday services to cut back on budget. Where does that stand now? Is Sunday service on the table? Is that off the table?
Currently, we had a public hearing to talk about Sunday service, and the public spoke up. They spoke to our board and they said, you know, we really want you to do what you can to keep Sunday service, which is why we have the public hearing. Our budget this year was developed without the Sunday service because it is our most costly service. Our cost per passengers on Sunday is well over $1.50. That's the subsidy per passenger that the government's providing, taxpayer subsidies, whereas our subsidy during the week is only about $3.25. So obviously, as staff developed the budget, we felt that one of the most economical and most effective ways of reducing some of our costs was through the cutting of Sunday service. But a lot of people that spoke during the public hearing to our board mentioned that they couldn't get to work on Sunday or they couldn't get to church on Sunday if we cut Sunday service. So our board sent staff back to the table. We've looked at it, and our latest proposal is a fare increase of 33%. And a lot of people in the public hearing session said we would be willing to pay more to keep Sunday service. So we're currently on September 6th, this Thursday. We plan on entering the public hearing, public comment period for a fare increase of 33%. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of feedback we get from the community.
Definitely. Would that be across the board increase for everyone, every different fare? I know there are different fares for different people.
Correct. That would be across the board. So it would be every day. Our adult fare would go from $1.50 to $2. We also have a reduced fare for students and disabled and senior citizens. That's half the fare.
Okay. It'll definitely be interesting to see what people say about it.
Yes, it will.
Okay. Well, thank you for sitting down with us. Again, I'm here with Albert Eby, the Executive Director for Wilmington's WAVE Transit Program. Thank you.
Thank you.
UNC Wilmington will not be a New Hanover County host for this year's early voting period. Despite the efforts of students, faculty and staff, election candidates, and voter advocacy groups, UNCW and the New Hanover County Board of Elections shot down the request. Bob Phillips, Executive Director of Common Cause North Carolina, made notice that UNCW is the biggest public university without an early voting location in our state. The 6 systems with larger enrollments, NC State, East Carolina, UNC Charlotte, UNC Chapel Hill, Appalachian State, and UNC Greensboro, are all projected to offer early voting. Phillips expressed his concern by telling the Star News that students have the lowest attendance and voter turnout, and it is important to give them as many opportunities as possible to vote. Amanda Boomershine, an associate professor of Spanish and linguistics at UNCW and member of Lower Cape Fear League of Women Voters, even sent Chancellor Gary Miller a letter to urge him to open an early voting site on campus. She explained that more than 14,000 students would have a more accessible means of completing their most important civic duty. UNCW spokesman Max Allen stated that the university would be happy to work with the Board of Elections to explore possibilities for future elections. Early voting locations can be found online at the New Hanover County government website.
UNCW's Piano Masterworks kicked off the 2012-2013 series on Thursday night with music of the Russian Romantics. Presented by UNCW's Cultural Arts Department, pianists Norman Bimmelman and Elizabeth Loperitz performed music of Alexander Scriabin and Sergei Rachmaninoff in Keenan Auditorium.
From Tampa Bay's threats from Hurricane Isaac to a surprise appearance from Clint Eastwood, the Republican National Convention was scarce on dull moments. Probably the biggest but most foreseeable event from the convention was when Mitt Romney formally accepted the Republican Party presidential nomination. Ann Romney debuted the convention and set the upbeat tone for the rest of the week. Miss Romney attempted to humanize her husband and appeal to female voters, who historically favor Democratic candidates. During day 2, Paul Ryan gave a speech that created much controversy. Ryan was hit with backlash when he was accused of delivering factual errors. On the third and final day, Clint Eastwood performed a quirky, unexpected skit, which entailed Dirty Harry conversing with an empty chair, meant to portray an invisible Barack Obama. In addition, Mark Rubio set an immense amount of stage presence while delivering his speech to introduce Romney. When it came time for the Republican candidate to take the stage, his speech mainly focused on America's need for jobs and promised to create 12 million of them if elected. Later, our attention will turn to Charlotte, North Carolina, when Anna touches on the DNC.
But first, we'll head over for this week's Critics on Campus, where Chris Vickery discusses 2 movies that hit the box office last weekend. Chris, take it away.
Thanks, Anna, and welcome to Critics on Campus. I'm your host, Chris Vickery, alongside my co-host for the week, Wills Maxwell.
How goes it?
This week, as always, we got 2 movies, and the first of which was Premium Rush, a Joseph Gordon-Levitt action piece about a bike messenger in the streets of New York evading an NYPD officer with some very sensitive material that's apparently worth a lot of money. And this NYPD officer has a bad gambling habit that he needs to fix. What did you think of this one?
I really enjoyed it. I think what the strength of this movie was in its storytelling, because the story itself was very generic. It's something that could have been like a generic straight-to-video action movie. But the way that it was told, it was really exciting. Seeing it in theaters was very thrilling. The camera work was awesome. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was incredibly engaging, and like right from the beginning of that movie, where you get to meet this character and the introduction of Wiley, you knew that this is a character that you can root for the next 2 hours.
Yeah, the portrayal and the character himself just really engages the audience right from the get-go with a really fun, tongue-in-cheek kind of voiceover.
Yeah.
And some really crazy one-liners in there that were fun. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt does such a great job of performing everything with a sly wink and nod to the audience, so that you kind of know that they're having fun with it. So that's the movie's biggest strength. It's not afraid to have a little bit of fun with its own premise, and you know that it's working when you walk out of the theater wanting to ride a bicycle through the streets of Manhattan, which you shouldn't want to do.
That's not a good inkling at all.
No, not at all. But you know, that's the movie's big strength, and as an action movie, it's solid. It delivers in the set pieces and the really exciting action parts. So overall, I was really, really thrilled with how it came out. But what would you give it out of 5 stars?
This was a 4-star movie. This is definitely one that's worth going to see in theaters, seeing it on the big screen. It's very exciting, very fun. This is a Friday night movie.
Yeah, I would have to agree. 4 stars for this one. You know, there are some that are better, a little bit more artful, that will be classics someday. But this one, it just delivers. It's a fun movie to go see on a weekend, and one that you definitely have to bring some friends to take part in the fun. But the second movie that we saw, Lawless, is very different tonally, almost the opposite. It's about some moonshiners back in Prohibition, 3 brothers, in fact, that get involved in some gang violence and some federal disarray, and very, very Southern Gothic, lots of violence and nudity and, you know, everything that should make it a gang movie. But what would you say about this one?
This one, the strengths and weaknesses were the opposite of Premium Rush. Premium Rush, you had a very generic, very mediocre story that was told brilliantly. This one, you have a very brilliant story that's kind of told poorly. You get involved with the characters immediately. You start to like them. Forrest in particular is a very strong character. But then the movie shifts away from Tom Hardy's character to Shia LaBeouf as Jack. And Shia LaBeouf, as great as an actor as he is, Jack's character had no growth. There was nothing really engaging about Jack that was worth sitting through this movie to see.
Yeah, I think Shia LaBeouf has proven time and again that though he is a capable actor, he can't carry a movie by himself. And Tom Hardy just explodes onto the screen as Forrest, and he really commands every moment that he's in, and you're kind of sad whenever he's not on the screen.
Yeah.
But you know, it has the classic set pieces of the gang shootouts and kind of the chases with the old Model Ts, and And it's exciting. It is an exciting story and one that's very interesting. It's adapted from a novel that was very good. But, you know, when you're not with the character that you want to be with for the whole movie, it just kind of falls short.
Yeah.
But out of 5 stars, what would you give this one?
This was a 3.5-star movie. Had this been a movie about Forrest Bondurant, it would have been a classic 5-star. But for a movie about Shia LaBeouf as Jack, it was 3.5 stars.
Yeah, I would even have to go as low as 3 because it lacked so much because it didn't make that choice to stick with Tom Hardy, that it didn't quite, you know, capture me the way that something like Premium Rush did. But still, a good movie, one that I think would be worth going to see in theaters and deciding for yourself. But once again, that's all for this week. I'm your host, Chris Vickery, alongside Wills Maxwell. We are sponsored by Carmike Cinemas. Stay tuned next week for more Critics on Campus. See you next time.
Thanks, Chris. Even the rain could not stop Tealgaters from supporting the UNCW men's soccer game on Friday, August 24th. Katie Nimrich has more at the Dub's avid supporters.
Hi, I'm Katie Nimrich here at the Tealgate celebrating the first men's soccer game of the season versus NC State. Unfortunately, it had to be moved inside due to rain, but that hasn't seemed to dampen the spirits. We're going to interview a few of the people involved in setting up this event. Let's take a look. Paige, what can you tell us about what's going on in this room and the theme for this tailgate?
This is called the You Have a Choice Tailgate, and what it is an alcohol awareness tailgate that we're putting on for our students. We're partnered with Delta Zeta Sorority, Crossroads, UNC Weekends, the Campus Police, and we're just really excited about being out here, getting the word out to students on campus about alcohol safety, alcohol awareness, and we felt like it was really important being the first Friday of the school year to do something, and you know, for the students to then afterwards be able to go to the awesome men's soccer game after that.
What can you tell me about certain activities? There's a lot of going on in here. What can you tell me about different activities and, you know, what their purpose kind of is?
Yeah, well, definitely. We have the campus police here, and they're actually doing sobriety tests. So you can put on the drunk goggles and get to test it all out and see what it's like, which is a lot of fun. And we've got Crossroads over here. They're doing a roulette game, kind of teaching you about alcohol awareness and safety. And you can see we've got tons of organizations out here that are donating to us. The community was so generous, giving us a lot of free food, free stuff, which we as college students love. So just anything to kind of get the awareness out for our students on campus.
In general, the students don't realize how many drinks it takes for them to reach about a 0.8 or let's say a 0.08. So this game gives them an idea of how many drinks they think they need for the night. And then after they actually get there, like 4 or 5 or 6 drinks in an hour, and then actually see how much they've hit on this BAC card, they often realize that they've gone far above it, and we teach them like the good zone to stay at generally for the night without making any negative decisions or consequences and suffering for the night. So it's definitely an educative way to teach the students here on campus.
I hope you enjoyed your sneak peek at the tailgate for the first men's soccer game of the season. I'm Katie Nemrich with Seahawk Central News, Teal TV.
The Seahawk, UNCW's own student newspaper, has published its second edition of the 2012-2013 school year. They are available in newsstands all across campus. The Seahawk prints bi-monthly with weekly online editions.
Now let's turn to Ann Christian Johns for this week's Talk on the Walk, where she discusses the latest changes on campus with upper and lower classmen. Ann, what do you have for us?
Hi Seahawks, I'm Ann Christian Johns, here for the first annual Talk on the Walk of this school year. I'm here asking students how they feel about the recent renovations on campus, like WAG 2.0, the Rec Center, which isn't finished yet, and the new amphitheater.
About the renovations on campus, I just think they're really cool. This campus is nice enough to begin with, but just the fact that they're making it look better, I think it's really cool. And WAG, I really like how they stepped it up.
The amphitheater, I like the new setup for it. Maybe if it rains or if it's real sunny, we can still have programs out there. The Rec Center, I'm a little disappointed that the Rec Center is not fully finished right now.
As far as the Rec Center goes, I'm not too bummed out that it isn't open yet. I figure I'll just be patient and it'll probably be awesome.
Part of the reason I came here was the setup of Wagner Hall, and they recently re-renovated it, remodeled it, and it looks nice. It looks fancy. It looks, you know, future tech. It looks everything you would want from, you know, your modern cafeteria, but I just feel it caters to the freshmen a little bit too much. I kind of really like the old setup.
The new WAG, I don't really have much to compare it to because I went to it like once last year. But I mean, It's chill. All I really eat is the subs. It's kind of uninspiring food, I think.
I think the renovations are really great. The fact that they're making our campus a little more lively and a little more appealing, but at the same time, there is some cost to the students with all the construction, all the noise. There's a lot of distraction, a lot of dangers, a lot of hazards.
Students both new and returning have both positive and negative feedback to say about recent renovations. I'm Ann Christian Johns, Seahawk Central News, Teal TV.
The University of North Carolina Wilmington's Board of Trustees elected 3 new officers last week. Linda Pierce, the first African-American woman to serve as chair and the CEO of Elder House Incorporated, is a graduate of North Carolina College in Durham, as well as the University of the District of Columbia, where she obtained her master's degree. Wendy Murphy is one of our own as a 1993 graduate from UNCW. She is also on the Watson College of Education Advisory Board and the Harrell's Christian Academy Board of Directors. Britt Prayer graduated from Davidson College and is now a financial advisor with Raymond James Financial Services.
Findings from a new study concluded that the University of North Carolina Wilmington generated more than $1 billion in annual economic activity during the 2011-2012 school year. UNCW's H. David and Diane Swain Center for Business and Economic Services led the study and found that the Cape Fear region benefits most from the school in the areas of construction and renovation projects, student spending, faculty and staff spending, and day-to-day operations of the campus. The $1 billion pumped into the region equates to 4% of the total economic activity in the area. In addition, more than 9,000 jobs have been created. UNCW's Dr. Woody Hall presented the data to the university's Board of Trustees at its quarterly meeting Friday, August 24th.
The 2012 Democratic National Convention took place this week in Charlotte, North Carolina. Their website expresses the party's belief that this year it isn't about political ritual or simply renominating the president. It's about Americans coming together. Day 1 of the convention consisted of many Labor Day kickoff events that were largely open to the public, including a Labor Day parade. Day 2 begins the official proceedings of the convention with Chair Antonio Villaraigosa leading business in the Time Warner Cable Arena. Day 3 of the convention revolved around the re-voting of the Democratic candidate for the President of the United States. And finally, on Day 4, the public was again invited to watch as President Barack Obama accepted the nomination for Democratic candidate of the United States.
Well, Seahawks, that is all we have for this episode.
Be sure to stop by tealtv.org to catch each episode of Seahawk Central News. Until next time, I'm Anna Phillips.
And I'm Trevor Bray, saying so long, Seahawks.